Recorded live from a previously unfinished attic in downtown Monroe. This is Drawing Bigger Circles, where we dig into what's going on behind the scenes and out in the streets of our city, Monroe, North Carolina. My name is Stephen Stegall. I'm the chairperson for Change for Monroe. And we're a grassroots organization that seeks to connect neighbors to neighbors through political engagement, civic education, and a myriad of community service opportunities. And as always, I'm joined by my long-suffering and long-time no-see producer, Kevin Daniels. How are you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
I enjoy the rainy season.
Well, I was going to say that if I hadn't seen you pull into my driveway in a car, I would have just assumed that you floated in on some kind of like refugee raft or something like that. For anybody, just to, we're in early August, and we've gotten probably, 4 inches of rain over the last 3-4 days maybe, and more is in the works. Apparently, like next week is all.
Oh, that's good.
All rain and everything like that too. So yeah, I mean, I've just given up on trying to clean my floors at this moment. We've got dogs and cats, and there's just paw prints now. Just deal with it until after the mud decides to reside, or subside, I should say. But it's just kind of icky around, and good to see you though. It's been a while.
Yes, thank you. It's been a while, probably since our last get together at Treehouse, I believe.
Yes, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little later in the podcast. As a matter of fact, we've got some things to say about that kind of thing. But I tell you, I wanted to. Sometimes I like to share some personal stories with the folks.
All right.
And this week, my daughter, my beautiful cupcake, she had her driving test this week for her to get her license.
You said had.
Yes.
Okay.
She unfortunately did not pass her driving test, and we've disowned her from the family. We did all that. That's things that I
mean, while it's raining,
right?
Make it effective. Yeah.
But no, she did not pass, and I'm honestly, so I have to say, I'm a little disappointed, a little angry, I should say, at the DMV. But I'm also kind of kicking myself a bit, and I'll go into this a little bit. So so the day before, I took my daughter on the route that they do, and so we went up through all of everything, and I made her do the 3-point turn about 20 times. We kind of went up on the highway, and made her turn on turn signal on, get into the turning lane, all that other good stuff. We had all that down, right? And so the one thing that we kind of worked on that I knew was going to happen was the quick stop, and which is it tests your reflexes, and you're supposed to slam on brakes, and in order to, but without skidding. That's always the way I assumed that a quick stop was, right? For your car. It's so it tests your reaction time, all this other stuff. So I had her do a quick stop 7 or 8 times, and I thought that I kind of understood what a quick stop was, but apparently the driving instructor thought that she should have stopped faster. It should have been quicker on the quick stop. He was like, I should feel the seatbelt in my chest as I'm going forward. So when she came in and he informed us that she had failed, that was the first thing that he said was oh, it was the quick stop. And then he says, oh, and by the way, I did not set this. I did say that it has been raining for the last few days, but I did not tell you that she took her driving test in the pouring rain.
Oh, geez.
Seriously. For anybody who's familiar with Monroe DMV, and this might be true for most DMVs nowadays, especially across North Carolina right now, but when you go there are so many parking spaces, and I'm talking maybe, 70 parking spaces, probably not 50 parking spaces in the actual parking lot. And then because there are so much demand at the DMV right now, there's people lined up on the road.
Yeah.
And they will come and tow you if you're sitting there too long, right? So we pull up we had a 3-month wait to get an appointment. So we show up at our appointment at 9:00, and the place is full. So we show up, park on the road. It's drizzling at the moment. So we go in and we get settled in and everything like that. And eventually one of the, we got our number called, and eventually one of the DMV, what do you call this? Officers? I don't know. Anyway, the people at the DMV, he comes and says, hey, in order to start the test, you have to be parked in a parking spot for your daughter to start the test. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. By this time, it is raining sideways, right? So I go out there while my daughter waits to for them to come and call her and everything. I go outside, and like from, I don't know, like 200 feet from the door to my car, and then out of my car to the door. I am drenched to the bone. Like my shirt is sticking to me. I like walked in and I was like, "Yep, still raining, everybody." So and it just got to like a quick laugh out of everybody. So I am completely soaked at this point, and like just a little bit pissed, to be honest. Like I'm just like not happy camper at this point, but whatever. My daughter's there to do her driving thing, and anyway, so they come get her, take her on her route. She comes back in. She thinks she does pretty good. We go back and like meet the officer at at his station. He says, "Well, this is why she failed. Quick stop, like I mentioned." She also apparently, like while she was driving, the windows started fogging up, right? Mm-hmm. And the instructor says, "Well, I had to show her where the fogger was, and I had to turn it on for her." And like I'm like, okay, so she didn't know where the defroster was. And then I'm like, those two things were like the things that he mentioned to me. And I'm like, is that it? And he was like, well, she also drug a traffic cone for a little ways. And so I was a little angry when he said those two things. And after he said that, I was like, oh, okay, I see. So
they were cones.
Yeah, the damn cones. So so, but I have a little bit of a confession here, and my daughter doesn't know anything about this.
And I'm guessing that it's a weekend, so she's going to be sitting here listening to this podcast.
Of course, like she listens to all our podcasts.
Because she listens to all of them.
Yeah, right. What's hip. So this will stay in this room most likely, and I will carry this to my grave.
You, me, and our one listener.
Okay, so all of those things, Kevin, were my fault.
The cone because of how you parked the car?
So let me explain. So the quick stop, I told you I didn't prepare her well enough for the quick stop. She did it a few times, and I was like, that's probably good enough. But I mean, that being said, I got in the car afterwards, and I was like, this is what a quick stop is. And she made me stop doing them because it hurt her tummy. She was like, she's like, stop doing that, please. It's like, making me want to throw up. So I was like, okay, fine. I should have. And like any responsible parent, I'm a terrible dad, obviously. I should have put her back in the driver's seat and said, now you do it. And I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's pouring fucking rain. And I'm like, no way he is going to make her slam on brakes in the pouring rain and expect her to do this quick stop. Of course he did. So anyway, strike number one on dad. I'm the one who didn't prepare her well enough for the quick stop.
So far, all your fault.
Also, I mentioned I was drenched, right?
Yeah.
I go out to the car. I'm soaked. Immediately, I turn the car on, right? And the wind, the air conditioner, the defroster that we had on previously started blowing at me. And I'm like, I'm cold. And so I turn it off and didn't turn it back on. My daughter doesn't, nervous as can be, I'm sure.
Of course.
Doesn't think to turn it back on as she's driving down the road. And come to find out, honestly, she like the instructor never said, hey, you should probably turn your defroster on. And then she struggled to find it. He just took it upon himself to find it for her and then turn it on. But the way he conveyed it to me was that she didn't know where it was. But in talking to her, it was like he never really asked. And I could see fine.
This one's a stretch.
It is a stretch.
Because the window starts to fog up.
I mean, he's with a very inexperienced driver. So maybe he's like being a little more cautious. But again, give me a break, dude. So
you can say fuck here.
Last one. And this is why I think that it probably was completely my fault.
I'm looking forward to this one.
The guy, they tell me you got to be in a parking space, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned the previously full parking lot. The only free spaces are 5 spaces at the very end that they reserve for exactly this thing. Well, it's raining cats and dogs. I am drenched to the bone. And I'm pulling into the parking lot to find these unicorn parking spots that they've, previously. There's cones all in them. And so I jump out of my car, run over there, grab a cone, toss it to the side, get back in my car, and pull back in the parking lot. I have no clue where that cone landed.
Apparently under the tire.
I completely sabotaged my daughter. And you have to take this to your grave as well.
Well, again, you, me, and our one listener.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that is what happened there. I think I completely sabotaged my daughter's driving test. But that being said, honestly, man, and what really kind of pissed me off during this entire thing, this entire interaction was it took us 3 months to get this appointment, right?
Yeah.
Like we signed up literally a 3-month wait. And the guy says, "Oh, she can come back next week." Oh God. I wanted, like, I bit my tongue and was like, "No, she fucking can't, dude." Like, because it took us 3 months to get this appointment.
Yeah.
And she's going back to school soon. So no, she can't. So it's not that simple. But honestly, man, I think they fail every first test. Do you think so? Am I just being conspiratorial there?
Up until the cone part of the evaluation, I would have agreed with you.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you that I am a first-time failure myself.
Me too.
And
my wife too, for that matter. We had this conversation.
For the area in upstate New York where I did this, it was around Goshen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the road and I'm driving down a neighborhood, picture like Pleasantville and, Andy Griffith
Sure.
and stuff like that. The leaves are falling. It's beautiful. And there's a woman walking on the sidewalk. There are cars parked. And then I'm driving.
Lady.
And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, the woman sitting in the passenger seat says, "Are you going to honk?" And I said, "Wasn't planning on it." She's like, "Well, you got to honk." I'm like,
typical New Yorker.
Okay, so I honk the horn, scare the shit out of the woman walking over here. She's like, "What the hell is he honking at?"
Right.
And apparently, it was a little known rule at the time that if someone's walking along the side of the road, you have to honk to let them know that you're coming. Now, again, not like. She was on a sidewalk in a neighborhood with cars lined up here and doing this.
You should.
So I come back to my mother. I'm like, "Oh," and my mother's like, "Fuck it. We'll come back in a week. It's not worth fighting."
So you just every pedestrian from now on.
So yeah. So she didn't even let me do anything else. That was it. That was automatic failure. And I'm like, this is a little strong. It's kind of like murder and the candy bar. Steal the candy bar. Are these on the same? I don't know. So yeah. But yeah. So I got you.
So anyway, that's what we got that to look forward to in the next little bit. But anyway, she's going back to school. She won't need her driver's license anyway. But it was just, we wanted to kind of get this thing over and done with. And it's just a rite of passage type thing that we were just trying to we just wanted to share a good moment for the DMV. So on to the next thing. I just want to let the audience know that I am a terrible friend. And just by a general rule, like, I just need to explain to certain people about the ADHD brain. If you're not in my face, I am not thinking about you. And that's an awful thing to say, but it's the chemicals, the way my chemicals work. So it's hard for me to keep important dates of other people in mind.
Oh no.
My wife, another long-suffering person in my life, has just come to the realization that I don't do birthdays well. And so gifts and things like that I'm always mean well getting up to that point, but I always just kind of lose track of the day. And by the time it's like birthday comes around, I'm like, oh shit. But I will say, Kevin, you are so good at this.
Oh,
holy shit. Like, since the short amount of time that we've known each other, you bought like birthday gifts for pretty much everybody in our little cohort. And they've all been like really kind of cute and like appropriate for the person. And just like, so I commend you for being a good friend, Kevin.
Well, thank you. I'd like to interrupt though. And it's not that at all. Like, I don't remember dates and shit at all. I just am a compulsive shopper. TikTok shop is the devil. And so like when I see something, I'm like, who would love that?
Oh yeah. Good.
And then I buy it.
So
I think it's called like pebbling from like, penguins and shit. Like I'm going to bring you a little round pebble so that you remember that I still exist.
So I think of that thing. Oh, who would like that? And then it's just like, oh, squirrel. And then I'm chasing a fucking squirrel. So, I mean, so good on you for like being able to like take that impulse and do something good with it. And I bring this up.
Go ahead.
I bring this up only to show my birthday gift from Kevin the other day. And it's fucking perfect. So I'm just going to like show it to the camera. It's probably backwards, but I'm just going to say it says Booo-urns.
Smithies, are they booing me?
No, they're saying Booo-urns. Booo-urns.
Are you saying boo or Booo-urns? I was saying Booo-urns.
And for anybody who immediately gets that reference, we're friends now. And please give me a high five next time we're out. So I'm just going to, I don't know if you can, probably not. I can't really set that up for the camera, but eventually it's going to make its way to our little, like our table of fun things back here. But again, thank you so much for that. And like to carry on this, like being a terrible friend thing, I'm going to spring some other stuff on you too, by the way.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. So, it's
can we revisit the license plate for a second?
Oh yes, absolutely. Go right ahead.
Because if we're confessing stuff,
okay,
that wasn't a birthday gift.
Oh,
I just bought it, and then Facebook said it's Steven's birthday. And I'm like, don't
say that.
There you go. Happy
you
birthday.
Totally just skated on that.
Could have, but nope. It was just like,
here I am, like saying what a better friend you are of me, and all this other.
I mean,
stuff.
I'm not saying it ain't true. Just
yeah, right. Okay, sure. Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to spring a couple things on you right now, and it just seems like I'm always kind of doing this. So
he always says this, but I never get money out of this. Go.
No, yeah, sorry. Also a very poor friend. So, there's two new segments that I want to spring on you right out of the blue, and just get your reaction on. Okay.
All right.
The first one is, I really want to start springing new episodes on, or new segments on you out of the blue, and just get your reaction. Like every episode.
So far.
So that's the first segment.
So far, that's not really asking permission.
Okay, yeah, no. Yeah,
that's what I'm doing now.
Right, yeah. So you have veto power on all this, by the way. So if you just
I just scream out veto,
if you just
Michael
say
Scott, I declare bankruptcy.
So if you would like because you are the producer, and you can basically just cut all this out if you want. So you obviously have veto power on this. Yeah. So, but the second new segment that I want to just spring on you out of nowhere and get your reaction on is it's the new portion of the episode that has everything to do with this new license plate you have right here, and it's called I was saying Booo-urns. And it's going to be basically me every episode, just kind of ranting a little bit about Burns, our local Burns, and just kind of explaining why, one, he's probably a terrible person, and why I'm better.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I feel like that's been most of our segments until this point.
Yeah. But I wanted to have a specific spot in each episode so that we don't have to like go on 20-minute rants about it. I can just hit it on every episode and just spend a good 3 to 4 minutes on it. And then we can just move on with the rest of our episode. And every episode doesn't have to be like.
Well, I'm not springing you on this. I sprung it on you before, but I'd like to add the part where we tell Burns at the beginning of the episode what's in our genes.
Oh, sure.
So he's not wondering, because I know that he's sitting at home wondering what genitalia is happening here.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Important, apparently.
Dick.
Yeah. Yes.
Dick. All right.
Yes. All right. So from now on, I expect to hear, I was saying Booo-urns when I say, and to our next segment, I was saying Booo-urns, and then there's Melman. Is it Melman? I can't remember. Anyway, Mole Man. There you go. Yeah. So anyway, I expect that to be inserted in here somewhere at this point, and I don't have to keep doing it with my own voice.
You're a producer.
Yeah. So that particular episode, though, in this segment of I was saying Booo-urns, that particular episode where this comes from, I had to go back and watch it a little bit. And so Marge apparently puts on a film festival in Springfield. You're a Simpsons fan too, so I'm sure you probably remember this. But she puts on a film festival, kind of like Cannes or something like that. And they're trying to boost the image of Springfield, made it cool and hip and stuff like that. And Monty Burns, takes it upon himself to recast himself in a lot of these old iconic movies. One of them was E.T., and he's actually E.T., given
given the finger.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's with his glowing finger, and he's touches what's the kid's name? I forget now. In E.T. Elliot. Elliot's he touches Elliot's heart, and he goes off in space, and he's and the next one is
spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry for the spoilers, right? He does eventually phone home, by the way. And the next one is him he's the mysterious figure in the desert giving Ben-Hur water. And it literally like casts him in this like divine light and stuff. And I just can't help but draw those comparisons to our Burns.
Yes.
Because he is always casting himself in this like divine light as if he's like our savior figure and stuff like that. Like he's going to like, put Monroe into its new golden age and save all our children from ourselves, from these terrible parents that we are. But anyway, I just, that was, Burns being, the greedy robber baron that he is, he like, just can't help but inflate his ego and his importance to all these people. So
we know him.
Yeah, of course. So again, other than the fact that like, our Burns is a giant meathead and not a frail,
he's kind of frail.
Well, ego is frail. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Well,
no. His
intellect is frail. All that. Yeah.
But like, that dude snaps. Like, yeah. I mean, you're just like, dude, you kind of look ugly too. And then he's like online about the commies coming after him or some bullshit. I don't know.
Right. So yeah, like, Burns is like, apoplectic that these people like, no way that these people in the audience are booing me. Right. Yeah. I mean, and he, turns to Smithers. He's like, are they booing me, Smithers? He's like, no. They're saying Booo-urns. and everybody, everybody in the crowd's like, absolutely not.
No, I'm sure that's what like Michelle has to do like every night.
Exactly.
Like, were they booing me?
Yeah.
No, they were saying
no, they're not booing you, sir. So if we can just make our the majority of Monroe's population as smart as Springfield's population, the way they'll see through his horse shit. We'd probably be all a little bit better off, and maybe we can get up, I don't know, maybe 17 or 18, maybe 20% of people showing up. That would be a good thing.
I'll tell you, when you talk about, we don't always like make our goals very clear to people, but putting that metric out there, making Monroe smarter than the people of Springfield.
Yeah, right.
I feel like now we have an attainable goal to shoot for.
Right.
We need to kind of put down on paper and figure that out. Yeah.
So I'm just going to touch on, I think I mentioned in the last episode about how, I literally view, who we are as humans and life and all this other stuff, just completely, I don't know about completely diametrically opposed, but this is the way I kind of view how Burns sees himself and life in general, and like the narrative arc that America and the world and society, or just reality itself is on. And I often like use this analogy to kind of describe. Again, I'm not bashing Christians. I promise you. It's just like the whole religious mindset. It's like
his version of it.
Yeah, well, his version of it. Yeah. Okay. So I use the analogy of a train. All right. So you can imagine a train. Trains run on tracks. They basically go one way, right? You can, and depending on your importance and where you see yourself is like which car of the train you're on. Most likely he sees himself as like, and I'm trying to steel man him here, but God and like the Trinity figure and all that other stuff is going to be like the engine, and somewhere down the line he sits in one of these cars, but it's all on this like linear track. Everything's got a destination, and all he's really got to do is just kind of follow this thing. He's like almost like a passenger in this thing, just following this like predestined trajectory towards the rapture. I don't know, whatever. I mean, golden castles and all this other shit in the sky. But the way I kind of view life itself is like, I'm not on that train so much as like outside of the train and like perpendicular to it, watching it go down the track. You know what I'm saying? And this goes into a lot of like kind of Buddhist-y, like philosophical stuff that I just won't bore the audience with because, again, we have just a time limit on this kind of thing. But I still like consider myself to be on the train, but I'm watching the train as it goes by because I don't necessarily put a lot of faith in the narrative, even of myself, even of like my own subjective being of I living in a body. I kind of like watch myself from the outside and just view it as a more of a just like, life is just kind of happening instead of like me following what life is doing. You know what I mean?
All right.
Does that kind of make sense?
To you?
Yeah, to me it like makes sense, but like, so maybe I'm I don't know. That's like, I could, again, a lot of these like kind of Buddhist concepts, but like there's like, I can give you a really, I'm not even going to go into this, but like I can give you a good explanation of like or a example of one of the things that I'm pretty sure he believes in, and one of the things that I do not believe in, and that is like free will.
Okay.
Like, I know for a fact that like that his religious ideology demands that he have free will, right?
Right.
I mean, and I won't explain all that, but look it up. But I personally don't believe in free will as if like I can choose the things that I do on a regular basis, because I think there's so many determinative factors that go into each individual decision. Each individual decision was made a long time ago, like from the Big Bang.
You're making a choice now based on previous choices, so technically,
yes, but
you're limited.
But none of the factors that go into that choice did I have control over. You see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't put myself in this body. Like, let's just say, except for people who like smoke for 20 years, most people didn't put themselves in a cancer-ridden body. Most people didn't put themselves in an ADHD brain body. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there are many, many, many factors that go into who I am as a person, as a like biological creature, that I have no control over, and I'm just kind of like along for the ride on. You know what I mean? And so they're like, I can't explain to you why I like chocolate ice cream over vanilla, but I just do. And so that's the choice that I make when I go for chocolate ice cream.
Okay.
So and again, like, to me, that's where like, he and I fundamentally see life and reality on a completely different plane. Like, we're on a, there's certain ways that like we can never really connect mentally, because we start from two totally different areas. And so when we're trying to like, talk to a person that that we disagree with on like really important things in life, it's really hard to like come to like any kind of like consensus, because we literally don't view reality in the same way. And this is not some kind of like, just dig at anybody. It's just a simple fact. So what do you have to say about any of that, sir?
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I think we've kind of all been through that, but there's an element to this that we when we talk about, philosophical thoughts on life, the meaning of life, where we're going, where we've been. I gotta say that I think the bigger point is your desire not to control other people around you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so all of this is to say that you're diametrically opposed to the mayor because he feels that it's his duty to tell me how to live.
Absolutely.
And you how to live, and everyone else how to live. And this is a core part of his principles, walking around telling everyone, cut your hair, tie your shoes,
don't wear dresses, or you should wear dresses,
or paint your nails. Don't paint your nails.
Right,
pick up those sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't ride that penny farthing in the middle of the street, whatever the fuck he says. So, all that to say, decisions, et cetera, you have officially made the decision not to tell other people what to do and how to behave.
Right. It's harm reduction. Basically, I view most of my, I guess, if you want to just call it like political viewpoint, just comes from the stance of like harm reduction, and also like maximizing freedom, and just trying to basically make the area that we all share just most accommodating to the most people, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting.
Well, that's the societal contract.
Right.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Your freedom ends at the tip of my nose.
Yep. There you go. So anyway, there's that segment. I wish I had Booo-urns. There you go. And again, in the future, sir, we'll touch more on how we are completely different from our storied mayor.
Proudly
Yes.
different.
So I've been talking for a while. I've got one other segment that I want to kind of go into, but I think you probably got, maybe we'll give you the the floor and let you kind of touch on your segment first.
I wanted to talk about something that happened. I think it was last weekend. Time is linear, but unfortunately, it does not follow my memory very well. Last weekend we had a little get together for Change for Monroe. And these things are usually small. People usually tell us that they're coming, and we weren't getting a lot of word on turnout on this and stuff like that. So we had a surprise visitor that a lot of people were not happy to see. And this goes back to we're not going to tell you how to feel. We're not going to tell you how to think. But, comment sections of a Facebook page just aren't my favorite place to have these kinds of conversations. So I did want to explain to folks the thinking at the time is, one, that happened with permission. It wasn't a surprise. Knew about it ahead of time. Absolutely hearted the message when I found out that it was coming, and I was very excited. A lot of people have brought up a few different points about this. The first one is that we brought the enemy into a safe space in our camp. And at the time, I thought that we were bringing an ex-enemy into the fold. And I still believe that. And I believe
not into the fold so much, but just like
to one event,
because we're not inviting this person
into the Facebook group, onto the board, nothing else.
This is a one-off thing.
And it was, it struck me as being really difficult because we spend all this time arguing with assholes online, trying to convince them that they're wrong and to see the light. And, we were making headway with this person, or I should say one of our members was making headway with this person.
Thank you to that person
thank you to that person for doing that and having that patience and that. Yep. And so I really thought that this was going to be like everyone kind of sitting around going like, wow, if she can change her mind, if she can come around and sit down and have a good time with us without, doing all that stuff, then maybe we can. And I was just really, really surprised that people didn't feel it that way. And that's fine. Yeah. Again, we're not in charge of telling people how to feel about shit. Yeah. So I just want to explain our side of things that if we are going to, move forward and do this, there are people that are going to change their mind and come over to our side. I am not fishing for those people. Yeah. We're not asking. This person approached us and we were welcoming them on. The second thing that I think the phrase, and it's forgive and forget. Well, I don't fucking forgive and I don't fucking forget.
Yeah, that's hard.
It was really, really kind of one of those things like, nobody asked for that. Yeah. Nobody said, okay, now she's one of us. Everybody starts smiling and being nice.
Right. Yeah.
It was like, hey, you're welcome to feel how you want to feel, but here's an opportunity to, kind of have a conversation with this person and explain how their actions in the past made you feel, or a chance to say like, hey, we're not going to talk about that tonight because we're just having fun, but I'd like to sit down with you and kind of like tell you like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Really fucking mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so like no one's saying forgive, no one's saying forget.
Yeah.
I was bothered by those two kind of takes on the whole thing. And honestly, I just wanted to let it kind of like go and be like, okay, whatever. And it just, people kept bringing out everyone again. Everyone's feelings are valid. Yep. Let me be absolutely clear on that. There was no wrong answer. We were right. We were wrong. You were right. You were, everyone is legitimately going to be there. And thank you to the folks who saw the promise in that. And we're very sorry to the folks that were taken aback by that.
Yep.
And I don't see that person coming to any of our events in the future. It might happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen ever, but I can tell you that it's going to happen very rarely. And if you want to double check because you just don't want to be around that kind of, just RSVP and we'll let you know, like, hey, here's the attendance list so far.
Well, we've been
been
asking for RSVPs too. So, that's part of it. But, so just to kind of give my take on that, like in retrospect, I wish we would have warned. Okay. So this is a very unique situation. And for those who have not been, kind of following the drama that has been going on in Monroe for like the last 2 years, this particular person has been,
Horrible.
Yes. And, she's been one of the like main foot soldiers in all of this. And this particular person has some, let's just say, like personal qualities that, like make her a special subject in and of itself too. I mean, I'm trying to beat around the bush here to, just because we've already said we don't want to name names here. We don't want to the one thing that I don't want to make this podcast be, but especially this story in general, is just some kind of like soap opera where we're all just like kind of, chatting about people, behind their backs, or like this ongoing drama. But, in retrospect, we should have recognized that this particular person is a unique case, and some of the people that could have possibly showed up to this or shown up to this get together would have been rightfully astonished, and probably would not have been able to maintain, this like civil gathering thing that we're trying to create with these social gatherings. So the point of these social gatherings is that we can come together as Monrovians, C4M and non C4M people, and really just kind of like shoot the shit, find out, because you were having a conversation with a couple that came for the very first time about like music and concerts that they had gone to. That's the kind of thing, or like that's what we were trying to foster in that, or like, hey, we're just going to go play pool for an hour and just kind of get to know each other. We just want people to be in proximity with each other. And I'm not necessarily saying that it doesn't necessarily have to be, hey, this is the LGBT community and a self-avowed bigot. It can just be like a right-wing person who doesn't necessarily associate with left-wing people or moderates and all this other stuff. So I mean, we're just trying to just create space so that people can get out of their online bubbles and their comment sections and just talk to people like fucking people again. And again, like going back over this entire thing in my mind, I wish we'd have just handled it a little bit better, and I think you did. But I'm going to personally apologize to the appropriate people, and you guys know who you are. That being said, we received mixed reviews. Some people were like you say, I mean, they were appropriately appalled. Some people were like, hey, good on you guys. I mean, this is what we need to see. And
but again, this is the part that I really want to hammer home.
Yeah.
Is we did not bring Burns in there, who is not changing his mind, who is just a horrible fuck.
Yeah.
We brought someone in who is on a path of recovery.
Redemption,
and we wanted to foster that, because it is my truly held belief that from the get-go, we can bring more people into a loving, caring community if they just spend time with us.
Yeah.
There are a lot of folks out there that when they go out to vote, they don't care about this particular issue.
Right.
And hey, I don't care about that issue because I'm not in that community and I don't know anyone in that community. But if you come in and you start hanging out with us, you're going to meet some folks in that community. And the next time you go out and vote, you're going to be like, oh, I can't vote for that dude because I know this person and they were really cool and that's going to hurt them.
Exactly.
And it's like, again, we're not making profound statements here. We're just trying to make our circles bigger.
Yes.
And we're going to draw them. There you go. Got all the lines.
Hey, there you go.
So, we will be more forthright if we're going to have any surprise guests. But no, we're not bringing enemies into the camp.
So, drawing bigger circles, it's, I won't go into the inspiration behind that and all this other stuff, but it is like I've said in the past, and I think it's just like, it just sounds like flowery language when I put up Facebook posts and saying, hey, this was a really hard concept for even the person that coined the phrase to carry out, considering the setting and the situation that this person was in. And again, I'm not saying that we're going to be on the, making a practice of like setting up, like combative situations where everybody just has to like hammer out their differences. And you guys, we want you shaking hands by the end of this, or else, this is a failed experiment. But there are going to be many uncomfortable settings or situations in our future, and it's not necessarily us that are setting that thing up. It's just a product of where we are in America at the moment. That there's a lot of shitty people out there that feel really fucking emboldened to be shitty to vulnerable people, and those are the people that we are going to exclude those people from our circle
until they learn better.
Yeah, until they've come to terms with
they're on timeout, if you will.
Right. Yeah. But I will say that this is me trying to just again, this is the way my brain works, and this is the way I'm going to express this. You have a certain group of people, like I just mentioned, that see, let's just call it what it is, the queer community, as invalid. They may consider that in the entire anything other than heterosexuality to be a mental illness. They don't want to make space for these people in public or private life. They see them as sinners, and they're going to hell, and they see their mission as to either exclude them from life or from community in this life, and then also make sure that they're excluded in the afterlife, because they're going to burn in the hot place. And all I'm looking for is in those people is to soften those edges to a point to where they don't even have to agree, quote unquote, agree with the queer lifestyle, or even understand them. I just need to get to the point to where they don't want to exclude them from society anymore. To me, that's a win. Once you stop using your votes to oppress people, we can work on the other stuff, in my opinion. But that's, to me, that's the hard line. And again, I'm not expecting to have these conversations in public at our social gatherings about whether or not trans women can use bathrooms. That's just not or women's bathrooms. That's just not the time and place for that. But if a right-wing conservative person can at least recognize the validity of a trans person and just recognize their right to exist and make it not dangerous for them in public. To me, that's a win, and we can work on those people eventually. But they're not. These people aren't going to come around in 1, 2, or even 10 conversations. They just have to. I mean, some of these people have to be marginalized, and
they're going to do it on their own.
They're going to,
and that's where that is. But to the point, and I want to bring this up as well. We've done all of this without compromising a single value or stance on an issue.
Sure.
When we brought the guest last Saturday, we didn't say, okay, well, we accept your hatred of this and hatred of that and so on and so forth. We did not. We said, hey, if you want to come and be a part of us, you got to stop this shit.
Yep.
And that's kind of where another aspect of confusion comes in, is that hey, we're not moderate, we're not compromising. The folks that we're going to support when election time comes around will have the same values that we have, that you have. In the meantime, we're not compromising.
Oh yeah, of course.
They're coming to us, or that's it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that point up, as a matter of fact, because none of these people that are on the periphery or just too extreme to really be part of our circle are we ever going to suggest to you people that you vote for.
Yeah.
And that's the main focus of this group anyway, is really is to build community, build relationships within the community, do good within the community. And then at some point when we say, hey, candidate X probably represents our values well enough that we think that we should promote these people and suggest that you vote for them. At that point, those people that we suggest to you will represent our shared values to the best of the available candidates anyway, put it that way.
And then the onus is on the voters to make good choices,
right?
As my mother used
and
to
to hold them to account and try to sway their votes in real time. I mean, so that's kind of where we're falling on a lot of that stuff. And again, to to the few people that hopefully are watching this pertains to, I want to extend a this all falls on me.
And me.
Well, yes, too, and I appreciate you throwing that in there. But like, I really if I want to consider myself the leader and the chairperson of this, and want to consider myself the leader, I have to take the hits when they come, and I'm willing to do that, obviously. But I can promise to the people that this pertains to, and that we will do better going forward with this, and we will just be more considerate in the future about who is invited to these things. But from the conversations that I've had on Facebook, I will say that like a lot of that comes with like people power. And so again, this is me eventually, like this is me asking you folks to get involved with us and saying, if we want to, better plan these things, have these things, see better outcomes with these interactions that we put together. It just takes people power, and we're asking you to come join us and help us, do these things. So,
I got to tell you, because I'm thinking about the audience out there right now watching us in TV land, and there's a great scene in Yes Man.
Okay.
You remember Yes Man with Jim Carrey? He goes to a seminar and he has to say yes, and he winds up going to this small concert for a band. And the band's audience is so small that, the lead singer gets up there, played by Zooey Deschanel. And, she's like, hey, Robert, hey, Alan, hey, Greg, and it's like, thanks for coming out, and like, that's the entire audience.
I got that $5 I owe you.
It's just like, and that's what I think of, like, like we could probably name our audience right now, like say hello to them by name, which we won't do. All right. We've been going for a little bit, and I wanted to touch on one more thing before we go. So what do you got?
That's it.
All right, cool.
Waiting on you.
All right. So for those of you who haven't been following along with local arrests, one of our friends ran into a trouble with a local, I don't know, hate group member, I guess would be the easiest way to talk about this.
Let's be honest, like this person that we were just spending a lot of time talking about are like, they're associated with this other person.
Yeah. But this man is not on a redemption arc.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
And he decided to start a fight with some friends of ours, and they got into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And honestly, as things go, it could have been a lot worse. I think it's like court costs and lawyer fees at the end of the day. That's their punishment. They've been dragging this case out for quite some time.
It was really like, as far as fights go,
well, it was really funny because I'll tell you that I got to hear a couple accounts of it, and this dude started shit.
Yeah.
This dude said, "Step outside."
Yeah.
He got his ass beat.
Yeah.
Like, like the whole like crying, like the drool is coming down. And, like, leave me alone. Like afterwards, he runs away.
Yeah, of course.
And then like later on, the cops show up to arrest our friends and say what you will about a questionable, who's right, who's wrong, who's got the law enforcement and the judiciary in their side, and stuff like that. But recently, one of the mouthpieces that's not sexual, just talks about the mayor quite a bit, put up a post, claiming that this was an amazing thing. And now, first of all, I want to bring up that she tied us all together, because we're all friends.
Yes.
And yes, we own that. We know who our friends are. We're not ashamed of them. Type thing. But I got to tell you that the photo that she used of me, I'm not really happy with.
Wait, that was a photo of you?
Well, it was the whole board, when we first started.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, and it was like, they were full body shots, and I was expecting headshots at the time. So, Lisa, if you're out there and you want a new picture of me,
there you go.
Take a screen grab of that one. But she puts up this thing. She's like, "This is the change from Monroe, and this person's associated." Yeah. We're all good friends. We're all having a good time.
Right.
But it seemed strange to me at the time. She never said who the guy who got his ass beat. The victim, if you will. Yeah. Well, he's a victim of life.
Well, they're all victims.
And they're all victims constantly.
Yeah.
But so I was like, let me
victim
look at
and aggressor at the same time.
Let me look at his name.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who don't know, there are people who are afraid to say their address in a town council meeting, and you can look that up willy-nilly. Yeah. But one of the things you can do is you can go into Google and you can NC courts. And you click here, you click there, you click there, and then you type in a name, last name, then first name. And you can look at every charge that they've had against them.
Yep.
And so I looked up this individual, which, there's like 9 outside of that one with our friends. There's 2. It goes to page 2. It goes to page 2.
Yeah.
And so I had them, and I went through and I'm like, all right, so we got speeding in a school zone. All right, which is still going. That's still pending. Has an expired registration, registration speeding, driving while license revoked, unsafe movement, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, that's
and to have your license revoked too. I mean, I'm sure you're probably going to hit that charge here in a second because that's a charge within and of itself, and then you're driving without a license.
So I mean, it's like speeding, driving while license revoked, the unsafe movement, and the expired registration. So he's getting hit by repeat charges with the expired registration. Of course. But the fun one that's still outstanding is he did a hit and run. He hit a vehicle and then said, "Fuck it, I'm going to make a go of it, see what happens." And he drove away. And
real upstanding citizen here, I think, right?
Yeah, but I guess that's why Lisa was afraid to mention his name. It's kind of like who's making news for kitty diddling this week. It's not who they say.
Well, I personally like the idea that you floated me today. And I'm sure that if we did your idea, we'd probably get no response on that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've been trying to engage, protect Monroe, Butch Williams, Michelle Ball. They're all the same. I've been trying to engage and say like, hey, we want to help protect children too. Here's what we got. Would you like to join us? And sadly, there's not a lot coming back. I kind of keep showing her like hey, this is like, the priest in South Carolina, like, hey, maybe we should. No, I'm not getting a lot of feedback there, but.
Well, I'll tell you, Booo-urns today, as a matter of fact, I saw, I believe one of our friends posted something that he had posted on Twitter today, as a matter of fact. And I'll actually save this for another I was saying Booo-urns segment because it's actually, again, it just shows,
he'll have more stuff before next week. You can say it.
I've got 6 or 8 of them in the hopper right now, as a matter of fact. Well, okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. So
thank you.
This is the blind spot that drives me crazy about people like Booo-urns, because today, and this is all so I know this is cynical that he does this. He does this, because he's a propagandist at heart. Like he's very much like, I don't take anything that he says other than okay, we've argued about this. I do believe that he believes that he's like on the path to righteousness and heaven and all this other stuff like that. But honestly, I think that I think that there's a lot of cynicism in what he does and the message that he's trying to get across. Or he's trying to put out into the world, I should say. Because one of the things he posted about was like this, I forget exactly where this person was, because I think it was like a teacher of the year or something like that got like caught. I don't know if he was like sexually propositioning some of the kids at his school or something like that, but it was pretty heinous shit. Mm-hmm. Like it was pretty bad. And Booo-urns took it upon himself to like post about this person and say, this is the problem with public schools. We don't have, and Josh Stein should be ashamed of himself because he vetoed a bill that would limit parental choice. And this is rampant in public schools. Not 5 posts down as I'm scrolling, that I see a soldier at Fort Bragg. That got caught with child porn.
4 counts.
Do you think so? Yeah. Of course, I was like, of course, Booo-urns posted about this too.
Of course he did, because it's all about protecting the children.
I mean, it is, right?
It's not political performance bullshit.
No, he did not. Absolutely not. So again, he weaponizes this perception of like, public schools bad, and anything that happens in public schools is bad. Or anything negative, I should say, is inherent because of what it is. I mean, it's like, he can't separate the individual from the overall like institution that they're operating within. Put it that way. unless it's something that, he doesn't want to bring or draw negative attention to, like military,
And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised he even posted about the teacher. I mean, he was able to spin it to be like public school's bad, but the teacher wasn't in drag.
I don't know. See,
drag performance,
honestly, like,
or
I didn't
a
really
trans person.
Yeah, I didn't plan on bringing this up, so I didn't like look into the story as much as I should have.
We know.
Well, I mean, there were,
we know.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm assuming that this person. I mean, anyway, the details doesn't matter. The dude was sexually either propositioning or molesting, children. Fucking heinous act, and
Absolutely.
we are absolutely on board with any person who wants to protect children in this particular way, or from these particular things. But the problem is that these people want to oppress vulnerable populations under the guise of protecting children. And what's worse, what's the weirdest fucking thing about this is that it's not even necessarily protecting children, but it's protecting children's innocence, which is this weird intangible thing that and it's all about protecting the minds of these children, because you don't want to corrupt the minds of these children. And, not to go down too many rabbit holes, but the idea that we're supposed to, the reason that we're supposed to oppose things like, critical race theory is because we don't want to subject these children to some sort of generational guilt, right? Well, forgive me, but the entire Christian faith is based on generational guilt. The entire concept of original sin is the fact that you are paying penance for the very first people on earth having transgressed God himself. And now we are still here paying the price. Also,
No, you don't get to move on.
Okay, sorry.
I just want to say how hypocritical it is that also critical race theory was a postgraduate
it's all horseshit
class in Harvard or something, but they latched onto it, because much like most of the words that they use, they don't understand what they mean and what they are.
Right. Well, it's manufactured horseshit.
It's manufactured horseshit.
Everything. Again, there's. I'm going to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to extend an invitation.
Oh, good Lord!
And if Mayor Burns,
that fucker.
If Mayor Burns ever wants to come,
I'm
on this
busy
podcast,
that day.
Yeah.
I just said we're not going to talk to fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
Just literally said we're not going to invite.
Okay.
No. Here's the deal.
Rescind that invitation because
here's the deal. We are not going to give him that platform.
No.
Because he's going to come up here. He's going to lie. He's going to play, the bullshit victim. He's going to say this. He's going to say that. Like the fucking Charlie Kirks and Jordan Petersons of the world, that are like, oh, what was me? It's like, hey, can we fact check that real quick? No. It's kind of like what was the debate where the vice presidential candidate was like, I was told there would be no fact checking. We're not going to give him that audience.
Right.
Fuck him.
Yeah. No,
he can invite you on.
Yeah. Well, and I would totally do that. I got to be honest. I relish the opportunity to basically stand or speak about the things that
we all do. I mean, we all have fantasies about asking him one fucking question that he has to answer.
Yeah.
And he's not going to expose himself to that.
Yeah. What's the question that you would like to ask him? Because you said it to me before.
Oh, jeez. I can't.
It's the final solution.
Oh, yeah. I would, I think I brought this up on the last one, so I'm not going to hash up. But basically, when he says that he wants to get rid of, gay people and trans, what do you mean by get rid of?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that should be a political career ender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to say that word here, but, camps.
I mean, again, it's part of my political evolution and where I've come to a lot of my stances is really thinking about a thing that I feel is it represents a just a thing in society, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then trying to work my way back from that. And or for that matter, extrapolate forward. What would this mean if we were to say, okay, Medicare for all? What would this mean for everybody involved? And think 5 steps out, basically. And the one thing that I approached them at the city council meeting about this, and I got no good answers from either Dotson or Burns on this.
Shocked.
Yeah, right. Was, hey, this whole like female male impersonation thing. I'm like, well, what happens when you have a man walking down the street in what could be considered female clothes, whatever?
Oh, fuck that. Even with long hair.
What? Yeah, anything. I like anything. Like, how do you like? Basically, my point to them was like, if you're going to pass a certain like ordinance like this, you have to specifically describe what these definitions are. Otherwise, they're just subjective, and we can just interpret them any way we want to. So if a person, again, like a person with long hair, if we're calling that, or a man anyway, is walking down the street with long hair and painted fingernails, is that dude a female impersonator at that point? And if you can't specifically point to a person and say, this is where the line is, then we have a fucking problem, sir. And if you're going to point to a woman walking down the street in blue jeans and a Carhartt shirt or something, or a Carhartt sweater or something like that, and you're going to tell me that like that person is not is not a male impersonator, where a female impersonator is a person that like is just in feminine garb, then it's a double standard. And it's like it's inexplicable, because they can't explain it to you once you start breaking shit down to them. And I swear to God, I got blank stares from both of them, and they could not describe what they were trying to do.
It's performance. They're not.
Of course it is.
They don't even mean the words that they say.
Children.
They're just fucking reading from a playbook. That's why I will tell you right now, the longest conversation I've had one of these folks is 2 sentences. I asked them 2 questions, and they're out of those fucking talking points. They saw 2 headlines, and now they're fucking done.
Right.
So, obviously, we're going out on a high note.
Yes.
All right. What do you got tonight? What's your parting piece of advice for the world?
Basically, just I tell you what, I'm getting closer and closer to like being able to like offer volunteer efforts to people. I'm working with Lowe's today. I just went to Lowe's today again, and was, or I should say, our local big box store. So, and I'm trying to get materials donated through them, so that the clients that we're working with, in order to build them handrails, don't have to come out of pocket for this type of thing. And so I'm about to be able to present that to the group, and that'll just be more opportunities that we can come together as a community and like, fellowship and, just hang out together and do good things for people. So look for that in the coming, week or so, hopefully. But until then, we have a website.
We have a website. It's still up and running. That's probably where you stumbled upon this.
Yep.
We've been given the mayor really fucked himself, both fists, and we're very excited about this by extending the race for another year. Folks, we are going to be fundraising. We are going to be supporting candidates that support your values. That's it. And we want to help those candidates get a leg up. And we would like to do that because those other fuckers are going to be well funded. And so we are trying to counter a little bit of that. $5 a month. We have, I think, like 200 something people in the group that, $5 a month. We're there. We got billboards up and down 74, which is really going to make a huge thing, because it's just going to be pictures of the mayor fucking crying in clown makeup.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck.
And it really wouldn't take a lot to, kind of swing this election.
So we got that. So. Reach out. T-shirt sales are on there, I believe.
Yep.
And again, that's how we draw community. Is we want to be wearing those shirts downtown, and we want people to say, what the fuck has changed for Monroe?
Yep.
And they're friendly because they're going to use the word fuck.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
If they say what the gosh darn is changed for Monroe, there's a good chance they may not want to join us, but hopefully we can kind of broaden our circle. Oh, it's this great group of people. They only bring assholes once in a while to an event. So come on out to the next one, and you'll just meet a whole bunch of rowdy dudes.
Well, and I say I will end this with an experience that I had this weekend, as a matter of fact, or earlier this week. So there was a particular post on Facebook. I won't go into it, but I just found some people within that Facebook group, or that Facebook comment section anyway, that like seemed amenable to our message. And I just took it upon myself to like DM those people and says, hey, I really appreciate you I really appreciate your comments in this thing, standing up for what you believe in. If you'd like, we have a Facebook group of like-minded folks. I'd like to invite you to that. And I got 2 other people in the group just coming in, and I'm going to probably have coffee with one of those gentlemen later this week. He seemed like very intelligent guy, was really kind of like roughhousing it with these folks in there. And pleading his case for, civil rights and all this other stuff like that. And he's a recent transplant from the Charlotte area, if I'm not mistaken.
That's not transplant. That's moving 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, right. But anyway, so it's that easy, folks. Really, like just if I know we're all in these WhatsApp pages, and we see some people in there that are like making comments, and some people don't necessarily go in there and want to like their comments because they don't want to put themselves out there. You can do this through DMs and just and I've met a lot of you people through DMs and just basically just out of the blue. That's how I met most of you guys. As a matter of fact, I just cold message you guys and I make connections. And so there's probably, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 people in the Facebook group that have literally come from me just reaching out to people through DMs and saying, hey, I really like what you said there. Do you have a community? Are you looking for a community? And we do good things in the community, and I think you'd fit right in. So anyway, reach out to us, especially write us an email. We do reserve the right to read your email on the during a podcast. And if you would like for us not to do that, please say so in the email.
Just mention, I don't want my name mentioned.
Yeah,
we're still going to read it no matter what.
Yeah. And we reserve the right to make fun of you.
We should do that. We should once we get over 3 viewers, we're gonna open this up to viewer mail.
Yeah,
we're just gonna do episodes where it's just us reading and
right.
And speaking of spring and shit, man, I gotta tell you, we got to get Dottie back. That was a great fucking episode.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Dottie, if you're one of the 4 people watching, we appreciate you.
I'm gonna reach out to Dottie,
and we're gonna get you back pretty soon. We'll make a lot more room right here. We'll just move the camera back a little bit.
Yeah, we've been a little gun shy because we're still operating with our mics on our mics. So we're still just kind of working through bugs, and we're getting better at this. I promise, folks. But it's going to be a bit. It's a little frustrating trying to make technology work for us. And I just want to hit shit with hammers. But that obviously is not recommended for electronics, and that's all I got, folks. That's what I bring to the table. I've got hammers underneath the desk right here. You're not even looking at. I have not pulled them out once.
He was just pointing at his dick.
So anyway, that's not my name. It's not the name for my dick.
It is now.
Yeah. Dropping the hammer, baby.
Nope, can't say it like that.
Oh no, sorry. Okay. All right. Well, we're signing off. Love you guys. Tune in. See you later.
I was saying Booo-urns.